Yes, students, as you can see on the screen, in this e-class, I'll start with chapter number 3. Now, the name of the chapter is Measures of Central Tendency. Yes, I'll first start with the introduction and then the meaning. Now, students, the large volume of statistical data can be organized by classification and tabulation. Yes, you all know about it. This shows certain characteristics of the given data. With the help of diagrams and graphs that you already know how to draw, over there the trends, the patterns are shown. It helps in the interpretation and comparison of the data. But we need more concise, more precise, and numerical representation of the data for further statistical analysis. Yes, for this, there is an example given to you people that suppose a person is planning his monthly budget. Yes, we all know at our place every time a monthly budget is planned. The expense on every commodity is variable, which changes according to the quantity consumed and the market price. Yes, what I spend on milk, the same amount a person won't spend on clothing, for example, or for on fuel. So it is written over here the expense on each and every commodity is variable. It means it changes, and over here it changes as per the quantity we use and the market price. Now suppose he wants to decide the amount to be spared for milk. He has the values of milk expenses of past 10 months. It means if you want to know the amount that he has spent incurred for milk, and if he has got all the data of last 10 months, he wants a representative value from these data to provide for the expenses on milk on his budget, and in this way he can know what is the final amount that he has already spent for last 10 months over here. Now, yes, it was about a representative value of what was there. Now, a representative value of more than one set of a data can be used for their comparison and further for taking future decisions. Now, yes, we all know the data can be easily compared and then the analysis is done. Now, over here, another example is given to you people. Suppose a company wants to compare the sales of two products produced by it. The sales vary from day to day. Yes, sometimes the sales may increase, sometimes it may decrease. The company has the data about sales of last, say, 50 days. The pattern displayed by the sales of the two products can be compared. Yes, over here, the comparison can be easily done from the frequency distribution obtained from these data. But the company needs some exact measures to describe the data of sales of their two products for further conclusions and comparisons. Now, over here, it is said that sometimes the company may need some exact measures to describe, to elaborate the data of sales. Now, in most of the graphs drawn for various frequency distributions, one can observe a common pattern that the values of the variable are concentrated around a certain central value. Yes, सेल्स एक पर्टिकुलर लेवल के आजू बाजू ही रहता है. एग्जाम्पल, this characteristic of data is called central tendency, and the central value around which the values of the variable are concentrated is called a measure of central tendency or average value. The average value thus can be taken as representative for the whole set of data. It is used for further analysis, interpretation, and comparisons. Now, thus, an average value, very first thing, presents the data in a concise form, in a short form, shows special characteristics of the data, The third one is helps in comparison between two or more sets of the data. Yes, over here the comparisons can be easily done. Different measures of central tendency can be obtained for the collected data. The choice of the average depends upon the type of data, the purpose of average value, and its further application. Yes. Now, all this theory part, especially the last two lines, is what we will be studying in our chapter, students. I hope I am clear with you with this theory part, students. Now, the next topic is characteristics of good measure of central tendency. An average with following characteristics can be called as an ideal average. Very first one is it should be well defined and rigid. Yes, it shouldn't change. There shouldn't be any flexibility. It should be well defined. It means its meaning should be clear. The second one is it should be easy to understand and calculate. हाँ, इसको समझना और कैलकुलेशन बहुत ही सिंपल और इजी होना चाहिए. The third one is it should be based on all the observations of the data. Yes, all the observations, all the XI जो आगे हम पढ़ने वाले हैं वो इंक्लूड होने चाहिए. It should be suitable for further algebraic operations. Yes, for further algebraic operations, for detailed algebraic operations, it should be helpful. It should be a stable measure. It means that the values of average found for different samples of same size from the same population should be almost same. Yes, if we are taking different samples from the same population, then our answer should be same. It should be stable. The next one is it should not be unduly affected by few very large or very small observations. Yes, it shouldn't be affected by very large or very small observations. We will discuss about the following measures of central tendency which are widely used in data analysis. Yes, basically over here we will be studying about the main three. Very first one is mean, the second is median, and other positional averages. The third one is mode. All these words, basically mean, median and mode, are not at all new for you students. Students, now I move on to my very first topic of arithmetic mean or mean. This is one of the most commonly used averages. Yes, this is important one-liner, which is the most commonly used averages. The answer is mean. We first start with the meaning. Arithmetic mean is defined as the value obtained by sum of all the observations divided by the total number of observations. Yes, हम लोग यहाँ पे जितने भी ऑब्जर्वेशंस दिए हुए हैं उन सबको एड अप करेंगे और फिर डिवाइड कर देंगे टोटल नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन से. द अरिथमेटिक मीन ऑफ वेरिएबल एक्स इज डिनोटेड बाय एक्स बार. नो स्टूडेंट्स, mean, median and mode not at all new words for you people. You all know about that. Now I first start with the calculation of mean for raw or ungrouped data. Suppose x1, x2 till xn are the n observations in the data, then arithmetic mean is yes x bar. इससे इसको denote किया जाता है mean को. So over here, as I said in the definition, x1 plus x2 plus till the last one xn divided by n. So in short we will say it as sigma xi upon n. Yes, this is symbol of sigma. You all know the total. Now when sigma xi, yes, over here it is given to you where sigma xi equals to x1 plus x2 plus till plus xn equals to sum of observations x1, x2 till xn, and n is number of observations. Now students, note over here, for the sake of simplicity while solving the examples, we will not write the suffix I. Thus, we will take x instead of xi, d instead of di, and f instead of fi. To make it simple and easier, I हम पीछे उसके नहीं लगाएंगे. Now, yes, the calculation of mean, the simple one. The weight of players of a cricket 11 are respectively. Yes, the question is given to you. Find मीन ओवर है n is 11. यस हम सब जानते हैं क्रिकेट में 11 प्लेयर्स होते हैं. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11. Yes, here n is 11. Mean formula you all know, sigma x upon n. We will add up all of them. Then फॉर्मूला लिखने के बाद हम ऐड करेंगे इन सबको. 60 + 57 + 52 so on. We will add, divide by 11. 651 divide by 11, you will get 59.18 kg. Now the next one, the shortcut method to calculate mean. If the values of observations are very large, बहुत बड़ी हो, the calculations can be simplified by using assumed mean. That is A. Assumed mean को हम capital A से denote करते हैं. A is some constant value, preferably around the center of all the observations. Assumed mean A is subtracted from the observations x, x1, x2 till xn, and the deviations are denoted by d1, d2 till dn. यानी कि यहाँ पे हम बोल सकते हैं फॉर्मूला जो है वो इनडायरेक्टली यहाँ पे आप लोगों को बता दिया गया है. एज्यूम्ड मीन जिसको हम कैपिटल ए से डिनोट करेंगे, उसमें से हम सबट्रैक्ट करेंगे x1 x2 को टिल xn, और जो आंसर हमें मिलेगा उससे हम d1 d2 टिल dn कहेंगे. So d1 equals to x1 minus a, d2 equals to x2 minus a, and so on. The mean, that is x bar, is obtained as follows. The formula is x bar equals to a plus sigma di upon n. Yes, over here sigma di or sigma d, no problem. Where a is assumed mean, sigma di equals to d1 plus d2 plus, yes, dash 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 plus dn, and n is number of observations. Now students, note over here, a choice of value of a, that is assumed mean, does not change the value of mean in the answer. Now yes, जो हम लोगों ने अभी थ्योरी किया उसका यहाँ पे एक एग्जाम्पल आप लोगों को बताया गया है स्टूडेंट्स. Over here, the daily withdrawal of books from library is given to you people. Find the mean of withdrawal of books. Over here the question is given to you. As the observations have very large values, we will calculate mean by shortcut method. We will select assumed mean as 300. Yes, आप assumed mean कुछ भी select कर सकते हैं. मैंने यहाँ पे 300 लिया है. The observations of x and deviations of d equals to x minus a are shown in the following table. Withdrawal हमको बताया गया है. Same question is written. d equals to xi minus a. Over here a, as I said, is 300 students. हम डिडक्ट करेंगे एक एक को यहाँ पर अभी. Yes, we will start deducting. That is d equals to x minus a means हम डिडक्ट करेंगे 532 minus our assumed mean 300. 532 minus 300, I'll get 232. Then is 438 minus 300, I'll get 138. So on students, you will continue, and finally you will get the total 756. This is what? Sigma d. Now our n is 6. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Our n is 6. मीन फाइंड आउट करेंगे. फॉर्मूला यू ऑलरेडी नो, a प्लस सिग्मा डी अपॉन n. यस, एज्यूम मीन इज 300 प्लस 756 जो हमारा सिग्मा डी आया, डिवाइड बाय 6. 300 प्लस 126, 426 इज माई आंसर. थर्स द मीन इज 426 books. Now students, our next question. The mean of 10 observations is 45. On inquiry, it is found that by mistake one observation was taken 12 instead of minus 12. Find the correct mean. यानी कि हमारे को लेना था -12, हमने भूल से ले लिया 12. अब हमको correct mean find out करना है. This is a short sum students. Here x bar equals to 45, n is 10 as it is given. Mean of 10 observations is 45. So n is 10. And mean is 45. Formula you all know, x bar equals to sigma x upon n equals to 45. हम mean की जगह पे 45 लिख सकते हैं. So therefore, sigma x upon 10 equals to 45. Sigma x I'll get by multiplying 45 into 10. I will get 450. Thus, the sum of observations is 450, which includes a wrong value 12 instead of correct value minus 12. So, obviously, in order to find out the correct value of observations, we will subtract the wrong observation and add the correct one. So, correct sigma x equals to 450 minus 12 plus -12. हाँ, हम प्लस करेंगे जो सही वाला है, माइनस करेंगे जो गलत वाला है. So I'll get 426. Now correct mean equals to correct sigma x upon n. 426 divided by 10 equals to 42.6 students. Students, I hope I am clear to you with my today's topic. I'll continue with the same chapter in my next e-class also, students. Till that time, thank you.